Power athlete Liam went from crippling knee pain, not even being able to jump, barely being able to walk, to hitting his first between the legs dunk in just 11 months. At 6 foot, you need to steal his methods, because to me, this transformation is unbelievable. And you need to take away something from this podcast, because clearly this shit works, to put it bluntly. So, Tom, how did Liam go about such an insane transformation? Because for someone to go from like just being able to dunk normally to hitting it between the legs dunk in 1 year is quite insane. But this guy like overcame knee pain at the
Right.
same time. And granted, he did have some decent athletic ability prior, but a lot of that was limited and capped just by how bad his knees were, and he lost a lot of athleticism too.
Yeah. Yeah. So you are right. He really struggled, just going upstairs and just doing everyday activities. And he's had knee pain on and off since he was about 16, 17 years old. So this, his knees flaring up wasn't, a new thing for him. And he kind of had enough. He hit us up start of 2024. And then, within that 11 months, he went from, those rebuild sessions where he's just like, trying to touch the ring for the first session. Maybe the next session we go for like a dunk. Like you said, he had a decent base of athleticism. I think he could windmill when he came to us. He definitely, actually, no, he definitely could windmill when he came to us, but he wasn't very close to hitting East Bays or any trick dunks like that.
He couldn't windmill because he was in such bad pain.
No, that is true. Yeah.
That's like yeah, but not really.
He could windmill and then he would, his knees would blow up for 3 months and then, had to rebuild again. So the key with him was just taking it really slow. He's one of those guys that, man, like it's very easy for him to flare his knees up. And he's always been like that. Like I said, he's been in knee pain on and off since 16, 17 years old. So yeah, we just had to go really slow with him and build from the ground up. And when I mean slow, I mean like adding 2.5 kilos a week to, all of his lifts, anything that's like quad dominant, the posterior chain, we could push a little bit more because it didn't aggravate his knee. And then, yeah, with the jumps, man, like adding no more than 5 a week, like 5 a week max. And even at the start, we weren't even doing max jumps. We're doing like, depth drops. We started with depth drops and we, added in more intense stuff. Eventually we got him on the court doing like, 70% jumps, whatever. Slowly, surely he got to where he was in December 2024.
So if you want to find out why your vertical is stuck, it's actually a free jump profile quiz linked down below. We can just go through it, answer 7 questions, and it's going to tell you exactly what you need to work on as an athlete and develop, so then you can know exactly why your vertical is stuck and give you a clear path and roadmap to what you need to change and fix. Now, is this 100% accurate? No, it's just 7 questions, but it's going to give you a really good estimation, an idea of what you need to work on without needing any sort of force plate or expensive sports science gear. Anyways, back to the video.
When he came to Perth, he had a dunk session with, me, Austin, all the boys, and he hit his first between the legs. So insane journey, insane story. And, props to him for following the program so well.
So you mentioned a key point there, like, and Liam was stuck in this for quite a while. Like they go through cycles of their knee starts to feel better, they get their knee a bit better, then they start jumping and doing all the elastic work, and then they flare it up again, rehab it, flare it up again, rehab, flare it up again, and then they just go back and forth for ages, and they never really get anywhere with their training, and they just constantly like spin their wheels. And that was a big problem with Liam. So we said to him from the start, like, look, we need to take care of this properly. Otherwise, this is going to keep happening. You're not going to be able to progress. You're not going to be able to move forward. It's going to take a little while to progress, and you're going to have to be very disciplined. But if you go through this period, and I guess quote unquote suffer through this period, then you're going to come out of it the best you've ever been. And that's exactly what happened. Like a huge key for him was, like I said to him at one point as well, I remember saying to him, like, look, we need to get your quads stronger. Like your quads are just way too weak. As soon as we get your quads way stronger, get some more mass there, some more meat on those chicken legs.
Crazy.
Turn him into a little quadzilla. Like his knees would become way more durable. And even when he did aggravate them a little bit, he would recover faster from that flare up or aggravation, and then it would be harder to flare his knee up once we got his quads way stronger. And that's been a big, huge focus behind his training over those 11 months and until now as well, to where He's hitting all-time PRs on his squat. He's front squatted 130, 130,
140 now.
140 the other day, which is insane for his body weight. What's his body weight, Tom?
It's probably around 75, 76 kg. So I
Yeah,
think that's
so
155 pounds around there.
yeah, so he can easily back squat then 2 times his body weight.
Oh yeah, yeah, easy, easy. That's chicken for
So
him.
so that's been a huge focus of his training, and it's been a huge driver behind, like I mentioned, getting his knees healthy, but also him jumping higher, jumping far more powerfully, and just becoming overall just way more explosive. Like his jumping better, more consistently than he ever has, and he's hitting east bays, rim grazing east bays on bad days now, which has never happened for him before, which is insane. Which is
Also,
insane. Like,
he hit a
I'm very
360
proud of that
windmill
guy.
first go in a dunk show the other day on
He
10.
what?
He had a 360 windmill in a dunk show on 10 foot randomly. It's maybe like a month ago. Pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
that's insane. Yeah, that's cool. Like,
Love
this is a
triple.
really, really nice style on that with the right hand, left,
Yeah, yeah,
right,
yeah.
plant, like Jake Clark style almost. Getting his quad stronger, that was a huge focus, but also just Tom helped him a lot with this, just managing his loading. Like a lot of athletes, they just do not load manage correctly, and maybe they know about it and they know sort of what to do, but they just don't approach it in the right way and take the right steps. And maybe they do know all the right things to do, but then they're just not disciplined enough, which I think was a huge part of Liam's case. I think Liam's not a dumb guy. He knows, about load management and all that and what to do, but a huge part of it was just holding him accountable and just telling him, look, you're not allowed to do no more than these jumps this week, and you have to stick to it. And if you don't, you're not going to get better. And he did. Like the whole time, he did exactly what we told him to do, and that was a huge part of him progressing so fast
Yeah.
and making such insane progress as well. Just that accountability we had with him, and the fact that he was so coachable and listened. It's like, yeah, he made insane progress. And he also did a very good job of communicating with us too, keeping us updated with how things are progressing. Like, and without that, we couldn't have helped him in the way we did. So yeah, with him doing that, then that was huge for his progress as well. Just having that constant communication, telling us how his knees felt, telling us how he feels, telling us how he's jumping, like what's happening, what events are coming up, asking us what he should do as well. All these things.
Communication.
Yeah, huge, huge key. And yeah, through that entire period, we progressed him all the way from doing isometrics only to strength work only to progress adding on top of those things. So we kept the strength work in, kept the isometrics in, and then we slowly started adding plyometrics. Slowly, we started getting his knees slowly adjusted to being able to land at first. So we built him up, just being able to land better, not so much in terms of technique, because very overrated. That's a whole podcast subject, but just more from
100%.
a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
standpoint of his tendon capacity that he could actually handle landing. So we did that at first, then we progressed him into jumping slowly too, very slowly. He did have a setback here and there. So we started him with like standing jumps and then short approach jumps and then more into longer approach jumps, and then just built that up very slowly over time and just guided him in terms of how much he should do, the intensity he should do, the mat, everything like that. And now we're at the point to where we're slowly starting to bring in 1 foot jumps again too, because that's quite a lot more intense than 2 foot. And
Yep.
he's been having the issue of him wanting to use 1 foot when he does competitions and shows. So, and when he did that, he was getting flare ups, which lasted about a week. So we helped him take care of that. But to avoid that happening, we're going to slowly build his 1 foot capacity up now too. So that's going to be a huge focus going forward.
Yeah. And then now he's going to be able to have a 1 foot bag and a 2 foot bag. He's also going for his first under both, which will be very
Yeah.
exciting. He's got very good technique, so I'm sure he'll hit that actually quite soon.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. That'll be insane to see actually. Cause how many guys, like how old is Liam?
Liam is 20 or 21.
Like how many guys at that age can under both? Not many.
Bro, I mean, especially in Australia, man, like the talent pool's so much smaller. Like if you can dunk at a rec center, people are like glazing you. But, under boating in Australia, regardless of height, is bro, it's like what? Brody, Dan, me, then Liam. Stevie's also very close. Another one of our athletes. Jack's hit it as well. Jack's hitting under both. He's a 1 footer, so that's actually kind of tough. But yeah, it's a very, very rare dunk. And, Liam's only 6 foot. I think his reach is like 7'10. So hitting under both, considering those factors and his age, it's going to put him in the top tier of.
But maybe we can get you. Maybe we can get him catching you. Maybe we can get him
That's the
deadlifting
goal.
310
That's
and hitting under both too.
oh, okay. Okay, let's do that, Liam. I know he's listening as well, so
Become the second guy in the world to do that. Only.
he does like deadlifting actually, so
Yeah. Maybe we're just gonna have to make an elite club.
deadlift arc for yeah.
300 plus and under both only athlete club.
Yeah, I got people doing some research for me who like know a little bit more about the dunk community for me. Sorry, I'm making this about me, but I think you're right. I think
You're so selfish, bro.
that's actually my bad because Jay Clark said he hasn't done 300 kilo deadlift. I found out. I think the only one left to figure out is if T Fly has done it or not. Then
Yeah. Well, anyways, we'll see what happens with that.
yeah, it doesn't really matter.
But some other key drivers that everyone listening needs to take away from Liam is obviously his mindset as well. I don't think I don't think that guy thinks too negative too much unless he doesn't tell us. He seems pretty positive most of the time about
Yeah,
things, and is very about the journey and not the outcome.
I think he loves it a lot, so that definitely helps. I wouldn't say he has no negative emotion because I know Liam quite well. He's a very good friend of mine, and I've talked to him, after he's had like a flare up, and because he runs the MDS, which is the Melbourne Dunk Squad, they do a lot of events, and especially in his like early rehab, and just even before we trained him, he'd be quite frustrated. Having to sit on the sideline, and then the second he feels a little bit healthy, he'll go into a show or he'll go and have a 2-hour dunk session. His knees blow up again, and it was like this endless cycle of like getting too excited, blowing his knees up. And I think he just finally had enough and said, whatever I need to do, I'm going to listen to Austin and Tom and do exactly what they say. And that's what he did. And that's why he got to where he is now because he, had enough and just he locked in regardless of, his external factors.
No, that's a very key driver behind making real progress and faster progress is being very journey orientated and not outcome focused. And it's hard to do because we're training to get the outcomes, which is jump higher, right? But
Yeah.
if you overemphasize it too much, then it's going to lead to making bad decisions like Liam was making, where he's trying to rush it because you're focused, oh, I need this to happen by this time. This has to happen like by this date, like blah, blah, blah. And then it leads you to making very poor decisions that leads you to progressing far slower. So, ironically, if you try to progress more slowly and focus on making the correct decisions in the moment to where you remind yourself, hey, it's okay to not rush it, ironically, you progress faster, way faster. And that was a huge driver behind Liam making that insane progress so quickly.
Yeah, for you Star Wars fans, right? I know Liam's a Star Wars fan. Over jumping and all that kind of realm of stuff, that is like the dark side. I think Yoda says that it's the easier, it's the more seductive, path to choose because you're like, oh, I can do all these jumps, da da da. But long term, the good side always wins. And the good side is being, load management and training and structuring everything properly.
No, trust the force, guys. Trust the force. It's with you. Yeah. All right. Well,
That's
we hope
sick.
this podcast helped everyone out listening. And if you have any stories you want to share in terms of relating to this podcast, share them down below. We want to hear about them. Any antidotes, let us know. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Peace out, guys.